Listen, we're going to, before we let you go, we've got a little wine, one of the wineries that feature in here, and we all fell in love with Jill Radford and Ben, for that matter, both very handsome couple from Eden Valley, and one of the best Rieslings coming out of the Eden Valley, we think, and we thought we'd can't let you go without cracking a wine with you. I was very interested because we were having a little chat about this exact topic recently, weren't we, Justin? And we don't necessarily agree on it, Justin and I. This idea of judging, wine judging and the atmosphere which is judged. We were at the esteemed landmark tutorial, and it was masterclass after masterclass of the greatest wines that this country has possibly ever produced, presented by the greatest people in a room with a white tablecloth and absolute silence. 15 minutes, it felt like a high school exam.
You were tiptoeing around.
Yeah, seriously, and we're out the back going, and you'd kick the chair,
and someone would drop a pen and
and you'd get glared at, and look, and you just felt that that's the way they wanted to do it, but not all of them necessarily wanted to be tasting these wines in that atmosphere. And I understand that it's not distracting, and you can check out the wine's colour, and you can do all that, and you can assign your little scores to it. But take a wine like Lucy Margot, right? So if you're giving, in the show system, you're giving whatever points you give me to colour. Do you deduct 4 points because it's cloudy?
Yeah.
So how does this work?
And there's only 3 available.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. -4. It has to be completely reinvented, and I don't know what all the answers are, but there's so many things that can be done to change the show system. And as you say, you walk into a wine show, a conventional wine show, and there's still a few in Australia, white coats, huge lineups of glasses, so maybe 70 glasses on a table, and clipboard and no talking, and you think, well, who is benefiting? Nobody is benefiting here. The first thing you think as a judge, and other judges will argue with this because they reckon they can get over these psychological, physiological barriers, the first thing I think when I see that is that's hard work, right? By about wine 40, my mouth's going to be aching, the acid's going to be getting to me, I'm going to be really struggling to come up with words to describe wine number 40 to make it different from... How can you possibly, anybody, make a fine distinction between wine number 40 and wine number 14 to half a point or, repeatedly? I know that there are judges out there who are machines who can do that, and good luck to them, but really, it's a lot of hard work, and wine is not hard. Shouldn't be.
Is that the point?
Hard work. No, it's not the point. That's because that system of judging came out of the agricultural shows, where you're in a white coat with a clipboard, and you've got 48 sponges, or sheep, or whatever it is, and they've all got to there's an ideal sponge in the ether somewhere. This ideal sponge. And every sponge is judged against the ideal sponge, right?
Yeah.
I
get where you're going. Yeah.
The same way the judge has an ideal Riesling in their mind, and the wines have got to kind of, stack up to the ideal Riesling in the sky. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's just pointless. But it's not pointless because they've got to award little points to them. So I don't know what
we need a measure, don't we? I mean, I say, look, I'd love to fuck it all off, to be honest, and I love chatting with people like Justin McNamee from Samuel's Gorge, who doesn't show his wines because he genuinely does not believe, he doesn't want his wines tasted. He's not afraid. I mean, he'd be getting 95, 96 points for everything he made. He's not afraid to stack it up there. He just doesn't believe that's the way to drink his wine, and he doesn't actually want people judging his wine. He wants them enjoying it. Now, that's hard then to get a measure of where it sits, and
for consumers who don't know,
we love
and how it compares against the ideal Grenache.
Yeah, so how do you, what's the answer?
There's no doubt that, the show system, and you can rejig this, you can do it a number of ways. You need to bring the bracket sizes down. So the shows that I do, I'm only the chief judge of 2, the organic show and the alternative show, because as we're fairly well established, they're my areas of interest.
Soon to be invited to the International Sardine Convention.
Do they serve sardines at these wine shows?
I'm going to ensure that we have, most wine shows, they put a little bowl of olives and some crackers and some cheese, and which is pointless because the olives start drying out and the crackers go stale and the cheese starts to sweat. Anyway, but that's meant to clear your palate. Like the judges are meant to have water and olives and crackers and cheese. I'm going to put a plate of sardines, especially for the cold wine. You know, you need to put the wines in the glass at the right temperature, which is almost impossible. Bring the bracket sizes down so you've only got maybe 20 glasses in front of you or 10. So the first thing you think is not, oh my God, it's, oh, there's only 10 wines there, it's easy. So you're in a better frame of mind. Get rid of the white coats. We don't need white coats. We're not judging cows. You know, the wine is not going to crap all over you, right? I mean, really. Food and wine. So, for example, at the Alternative show a couple of years ago, or was it last year? We judge it in the Mildura Footy Club rooms in Mildura. So it's a big room with a kind of commercial kitchen, which is where they wash all the glasses and things. And we had Stefano's brother, Sergio De Pieri, cooking for us in the kitchen while we were judging the brackets of rosés. So he was making this beautiful ragu and pasta, and we all sat down with the rosés that we'd kind of judged and given points to, and brought our favourites over and discussed them over the food. That's the way to do wine.
That sounds like
a
nice wine show.
So the more you
drinking it out,
yeah. Well, the more you can do that, the more you can kind of take the wine show out of the wine show, which is what Steve Webber's trying to do at the Melbourne Wine Show, and introduce different classes, you know, introduce a class for interesting wines or whatever it is, you know. So in the Alternative show, we actively encourage judges to stand up for and argue about and promote wines that are different. Because when you're judging a wine like a Sagrantino or a Gruner Veltliner, and it's the first example of Gruner Veltliner in Australia, nobody's ever made Gruner Veltliner in Australia before, how do you know what the perfect Australian Gruner, there isn't one. So it's up to you to say, well, I reckon that's valid because of that. You know, maybe it's a bit cloudy or what, who cares? Is it interesting? Does it taste good? Yes, it does. So give it a medal. So I think...
Why not?
Why not? You know, it's not about, I don't know, anyway. And also the thing about judging too is, and a lot of shows will do this, is that when you're arguing about trophies particularly, you've got to be able to say to the judges, which is the wine that you want to take home now? Or the way I do it is, let's say you are in London or New York or something, and there's 4 Nebbiolos on the table, which is the wine you would take and put on the table in front of anybody else around the world and say, that's the best example of Nebbiolo we can make in Australia. And that suddenly makes it an emotional decision rather than a theoretically objective decision, because wine shows are set up currently to make them as objective as possible, and that's pointless because wine is subjective. We emotionally bond with a wine. The best way you could judge wines, we've come up with this and it's completely impractical, but as we've already established,
We're into that, aren't we?
as we've already established,
Why stop now?
I do impractical quite well, is you'd send, so let's say there's 3 judges, right? You'd send each of the 3 judges a box of wines in, let's say, March, with 4 or 5 bottles of each of 10 wines. So that's more than a box already. You see, that's why
Details.
that's why my plans don't work. And then you give them 6 months to judge the wine. So there's wines number 1 to 10, right? You don't know what they are, so they're obviously clean skin bottles. It's not going to work. But then they would have an emotional relationship with each of those wines. So over that 6-month period, they try them in different settings. They get their mates to come around and try them with them. And you would eventually get to the stage where wine number 3 is your wine, right?
Yep.
So when you go into discussion with the other judges, you're not just arguing on colour and taste and clarity. You're arguing because it's your favourite. You've got that would be a profoundly meaningful wine show.
Completely
Wouldn't
agree.
it? And if the
Completely
judges
agree.
were a winemaker, a retailer, maybe a writer and a consumer. Right, so you've all got all these different approaches.
I very much believe in getting consumers in
Yeah.
to the picture.
Or as many different,
It's all
it's
valid.
about diversity. You know who else is not getting a good run in wine shows? It's the people who grow the grapes.
Yeah.
Viticulturists, you hardly ever see them in wine shows. So we've got an Italian viticulturist this year in the Alternative show to give us this completely different perspective. And you've got to fold all these perspectives in with each other, because just having winemakers judging wines, you're just going to end up with wines that winemakers like to drink.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
who'd want that?
Well, this here, I tell you what, so, The Future Makers, Australian Wines for the 21st Century by Max Allen. We are going to be giving away 5 copies.
Did you know this?
Did you know this? Is it coming out of your cut?
Yeah.
to you. And we haven't even figured out under what you're going to have to do to get one. Got any ideas?
Yeah.
You got no ideas, man?
No, it's your
What
show.
do our viewers have to
It's
do
your show.
to win a copy of the book?
Signed as well.
Well, I reckon I've got no idea what we should do. Do you know what? We're gonna
They
go
can
for
go
it.
and take a photo of the book. Where can they get the book?
Oh,
All good bookshop.
All good bookshops. Go and take a photo of the book, send it in to us, and the first 5. How about that?
Yeah, how are they going to send it in to us?
The photo.
Yeah,
Email.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook or Twitter or email.
Yeah.
To Andre at Qwoff.com.au.
Excellent. 04398. No, yeah, or what about maybe, I reckon they should also be able to write something to us about. Or no, what about we have a national competition, a suggestion for someone to come up with the Australian word for terroir.
That's a good competition.
That's good.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
done.
do it.
No more photos.
And it, like, you can get funny and, left to feeling a bit strange about it. But we genuinely would like a word. And Max, you'll adopt it, won't you, if they come up with a good one?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Has to be good. Let's do it. Let's redefine terroir. Is that the right way to pronounce it?
Yes.
Well, all right. And the best 5, I guess it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We will send a. Will you?
I'd be
scribble
happy
in
to.
one?
I'd be happy
We'd
to.
love you to. Will you do it for the 5 for the other? But you're not getting this one. This is ours. You write something funky for us. But will you? You'll sign them for?
Absolutely. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Beautiful.
Are you waiting for me to do this?
Yeah, you made me come up with a bloody competition.
No. Quick, hurry up. Something funny now.
I'm waiting for the close-up camera. Go on, you sign off while I do this.
All right.
All right.
Look, I think it's been awesome, by the way. And
Yeah,
great to meet you with the coffee before and this. And Max Allen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little Radford Riesling. I guess the lesson is try new things. Wine is an adventure. Life's an adventure. Don't sleep on it. Don't be afraid to go out and try new stuff.
This
Don't
is
you
the
reckon?
best sign off.
Unprepared.
Hurry up, Max. Beautiful. All right.
Max,
Absolute pleasure, Max.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate your time. Best of luck with the book and all of your endeavours. You don't need luck, obviously. It's a pleasure to have you on the Qwoff TV cast. Cheers. Cheers.